I'm going to critique this $50 million Lake Tahoe property, so if you decide to buy, remodel, build, design the property for yourself, you won't make the same mistakes. I'm the How to Buy a Mansion guy. My name is Arvin Haddad. Let's watch this together.
Lake Tahoe, one of the most breathtaking and iconic destinations in the world. And today, we're touring Crystal Point, a one-of-a-kind lakeside estate nestled over 5 acres of untouched Tahoe landscape right on the edge of Nevada. This remarkable property spans over 16,000 square feet and features not one, but 2 funiculars seamlessly connecting the estate's multiple structures.
Okay, let's stop it right there. Now, Ennis might be very excited about funiculars and he might want to put 5 in his own property, but let's just say Jeff Bezos never told Elon, how many funiculars does your property have? It's not a good thing, okay? It just goes on without saying you don't want to have funiculars on your property.
Welcome to Lake Tahoe, everyone, and even more importantly, welcome to Crystal Point, this incredible estate. We have a beautiful day today, and as always, we're going to start our tour on the exterior. Now we have the gates opening up to this long, wide driveway that is heated, and it takes you to the motor court of this property. But what I love about this section is the fact that you can see the lake, pine trees, and the surrounding landscape as you arrive to this home.
Wait a minute. First of all, there's no curb appeal. All those drone footage he's showing you, no one would ever see those unless you're on a boat in the middle of the lake. Your property has 0 curb appeal, and what you get is pretty much a garage and a downward private driveway, which is good that it has a private driveway, but downward ones are never good because especially with snow, ice, everything melting, water goes towards the foundation over here. It's just not ideal. So the approach is there, but there's nothing afterwards.
This section is also very private, and to my left, we have 2 two-car garages, and this garage gets phenomenal views as well. And you can also see some of the architectural details of this property. The slate roof, stacked stone used throughout the property, the stucco finish, and over on this side, we have this covered space that leads us to this massive picture window. And I love this section because this is where we can see the grounds of the property, these beautiful pine trees, and right in front of us is the main residence.
Wait, you can't even still see the main residence. I thought like we'll be able to see the house from this point on, but no, still the main house is nowhere to be seen.
This property features 2 funiculars that allow you to travel the grounds of the home. And in this case, it connects the first structure that we have, which is really the staff quarters and the 4-car garage, to the main residence.
Okay, if you're a subscriber, you should be able to answer this question. If you're not, you should become a subscriber. Why do we have 2 funiculars? 3, 2, 1. Because it's a crap lot. Okay, this lot is worth nothing. Okay, I mean, it's worth something, but it by no means whatsoever, it's an expensive lot. There's plenty of lot you can find on the side of the road, hillside, not level with the road, and heavily sloped that you could spend millions and millions of dollars, foundation, everything, and build a hillside property like this that has no naturally flat areas.
And it's a really cool experience being on this funicular, looking at the surrounding landscape and realizing that you're in a really cool property.
I've never been on a funicular before, and I'm planning not to be on a funicular. And I don't think funiculars are cool. Roller coasters are cool. You wanna get me excited? Make it a ride, baby. Put some wheels on that. Let's go fast. But this, no, boring.
So the home is situated on 5.14 acres.
And almost none of it is flat. Okay, I don't care if you said 100 acres. If it's not flat, it doesn't mean anything to me.
Before I continue with the grounds, I actually want to quickly walk this way so we can show the lower section of the 4-car garage that we just talked about. On the lower level, they have a 1-bedroom staff apartment, And on this side, we have a 65 kilowatt generator. And given that this property is such a compound, it's nice to have a feature like that. Now, we just talked about the funicular. You can see the track right above me.
So sexy. So, if I was single, oh, bringing girls, look at my funicular, baby.
Can you imagine this section covered in snow? But it's nice that your stone walkways are all heated so you can enjoy the space throughout the year. The pine trees, all these boulders, water features throughout that are currently winterized. And when you add all these qualities and these little nooks and crannies, it feels quite special and quite magical to walk these grounds.
Look, if it looks like this when there's no snow, I don't know how the hell it's going to look when there is snow. To me, this is like, it's unusable. It really is unusable. You're better off just taking the funicular. There's no, it's heavily sloped and it just looks horrible.
Some of the design elements and materials that we saw on the exterior of the property are also incorporated to this foyer. Look at the floors here, installed in this flagstone pattern. Then we have the stacked stone columns, and the ceiling design here with this intricate millwork really brings that warmth.
Too many materials right off the bat. You can't put 5-6 type of finishes right next to each other. I don't care what they are. First of all, a lot of them were crappy, especially the granite that was surrounding the flagstone center. But overall, you just way too many finishes right next to each other. The more crowded you make it, you take the power of each single one of them, and it just becomes too busy to the eye.
As you walk into this home, you see the lake right in front of you. This property is literally floating above the water, which is so exciting. And coming back to the space to our right, we have the staircase going down to the lower level, and over here, we have a powder room. Let's check it out. Now, I'm always interested in touring powder rooms because it's a good opportunity to make a very small confined space very unique.
I've never seen anyone try to make a really crappy vanity look nice. It is horrible. First of all, it's very neoclassical, which is very strange to add that to a Lake Tahoe house. Why would you put neoclassical furniture in there? The direction you should go is cabin. That's architectural style of your property. So completely disagree with them. It's horrible. In color, in material, in style, in the vision, everything.
Now, jumping back to the landing, we have this massive crystal, hence the name of the property, Crystal Point. I love the location here because you have 4 massive cedar columns framing this section, and above us is a massive skylight bringing natural light. It just adds weight and significance to the entry of the grand living room.
In a very like James Bond villain vibe and energy. Weird choice. I don't think it's like a deal breaker. You can take it out. Obviously, it's not a fixture to the property. But what's a little bit weird is that we saw some like Roman columns next to the cedar columns, which is telling me is like architecturally they're a little confused. They don't know what they're doing. But the wow factor is insane. I mean, this looks more of like a cathedral vibe and energy, and you can't deny how good the views are. The views are unbelievable. Really, really cool.
I want to walk right in to showcase the volume, the beam ceilings, the wood finishes, and the grandeur of the space here. And obviously the focal point is the lake.
A 10. Views are insane. It looks like a green screen. It looks fake. Beautiful. I mean, if you have never been to Lake Tahoe, it's one of the most beautiful places in California. That other side is literally Nevada. Just gorgeous water. Been there many times. And there are a lot better properties than this. I guarantee you, especially for $50 million. You can buy like on the lake, beach, the whole thing. You don't need to be by the side of the road in the mountain with 2 funiculars.
I want to quickly turn this way to cover the seating area, nicely furnished. I actually really like the marble coffee table here because the finish on this marble coffee table matches the finish on the beams. And then over on this side, to cozy up and to anchor the space, we have a massive stone fireplace. This is the stone that we've been seeing throughout the property, both on the exterior and on the interior. And a finish like this really helps tying the room together. And when you have a cozy seating room like this, You just want to look outside, enjoy the mountains, the snow, and the fire ties it all together.
I completely agree with them. This stone that they're using is a beautiful shade. I like the irregular shapes of the stone they're using. It's natural stone. It looks really, really cool. The problem is they're overdoing the other stuff. That's really good as your anchor accent. Exterior and interior goes with the whole cabin log. But when you start bringing moldings like this around over here and extra moldings and Greek columns and Roman columns and other material into the mix, it's too much. See, most of the time it's overcrowding the design that really sucks the energy out and makes it funny or ridiculous.
Now, before we leave this section, I want to point out we have a lot of TVs throughout this property and they're discreetly hidden.
Do you see what I'm saying? Like, what the hell is this column doing here? Who came up with, when did the Romans ever invade Lake Tahoe? Caesar didn't even know Lake Tahoe existed. Like, America wasn't even discovered. Come on.
And now, Cody, let's go to the other side so we can show the scale of this section, how massive these window panels are. And down below, we have the casement sections. And I particularly like this detail because the air in Lake Tahoe is so pure, so clean. We have no pollution here. And we've been told that 84% of Lake Tahoe is owned by federal government and 2 states, California and Nevada, which means only 16% of Lake Tahoe is privately owned. And on top of that, the building restrictions here are very challenging, very difficult because everybody is trying to protect the beautiful landscape of Lake Tahoe. And that yields you this incredible experience where even though you have residential homes, you feel like you're in the wild.
He's right about that. There's definitely a supply and demand issue, but supply of really good properties, not this one. There's plenty of hillside properties. If you are on flat ground on the lake, prices skyrocket. It becomes way, way, way more expensive. This property is trying to kind of fudge itself as one of those when it's really not. It's trying to compensate and trick you by, saying, oh, I have a funicular, I can take you by the beach. If you take, 2 rides and it's priced that way, when it doesn't even qualify. It's not even in the same bracket.
If you want to enjoy the outdoors a little bit more on this level, there's a massive wraparound balcony that starts from the kitchen and goes all the way to the bar area.
That's all your backyard. You basically have a balcony for backyard. Do you get it? As to the beachfront properties, you have 30, 40 yards of backyard, like on the beach.
Now, to our right, we have a beautiful piano. There's also a nice dining setup here or a little game table.
And carpet floors. I haven't seen carpet used in ultra luxury in the last 10 years. So it just tells me like this is really dated. They done it really, really like long time ago. But what's actually surprisingly, it looks better than the floors they've had on the entrance and the rest of the property. It's warmer, right? It actually kind of works. The palette is there. It's a good match. Look at that, like beige of the carpet, the wood frames, and the stone walls, right? It's actually a nice little palette they got going on over there. It's way better than the floors elsewhere in the property, but it just has to be completely taken out, right? Like, you got to renovate this completely, like to the bones if you ever purchase this.
And before we leave the grand living room, I also want to talk about the railing design here. So they hired an artisan, and this person took 2 years to source all of these willow branches. And then he fabricated these railings that we're seeing throughout this level.
2 years? Dude, I'll do it for half price in a week. Are you serious?
It's just such a fun, interesting, and I want to say a grounding way to create a design element like this and put it right in your grand living room.
I just can't get over these columns here. They're so out of place.
To our left, we have the kitchen. But before we go check out that space, we have to take all of you to the outside. As soon as you open up the French doors, you're hit with this clean, crisp air, which immediately changes your mood. I mean, it feels amazing to be outside right now. And this property with 525 feet of frontage really capitalizes on these views. And that's why throughout the home, we have so many different balconies, patios, and outdoor spaces.
Yeah, because you couldn't have flat land. You had to have balconies. That's the only thing you could have had.
This space also features this vaulted ceiling design with these decorative beams, triangular windows, bringing natural light, and you can see the custom cabinetry throughout, massive island in the center, and they have two-tone granite countertops. And I like the fabrication here.
Don't get distracted. This kitchen sucks. Okay, look at the white faucet, like the sinks. Horrible. The black appliances from 1980s. This is a gut job kitchen, and it's way too small for a $50 million property. But what's really fascinating to me on a lot of these log cabins, you know, the direction that a lot of interior designers take is going in with you know, Mediterranean kitchen, heavily molded cabinets and stuff. It's a complete wrong direction. The direction you got to take it is very simple farm, like a rustic home, hunting cabin, kitchen. Okay, butcher blocks. That's the direction you want to go. You don't want to go with granites. And I can tell like where the thought is coming. They're like, okay, we have a lot of logs. What would look really cool? Heavily molding cabinets for the kitchen. No, it's not a Mediterranean home. And even that, they don't even do that in Mediterranean homes anymore. You want to go very basic, very farmhouse, very raw, you know, hunting lodge type of a vibe.
Now, next up, we have the breakfast nook. Dark walnut flooring transitions to the stone floor here. You have your dining table in the center.
See, too much. Again, like you don't need to change things so much on the finishes. You see, finishes is one of the 10 principles of quality I talk about, but it's actually the principle that you guys care the most about and you get fooled by. Like that's the one thing you can actually change. The other 9 you can't change. So I focus so much on those because a lot of them you inherit and you can't change it. And I teach that in my 5-day workshop where the first 3 days we go over the 10 principles of quality. And then day 4, we apply it to how to purchase a property. Day 5, we apply it to how to design a property. So when your guests come for the first time, they won't laugh at you. Okay. And you don't waste a ton of money, not get any resale value at the end of it.
Some built-in cabinetry. And then over on the other side, we have an elevator that takes you down to the lower level, and next to that,
do you see that? 3 finishes on the floors. You have flagstone, you have this ugly granite, and then you have this like wood oak floors. None of them go to each other. They're all like shades of brown, but that's not okay.
Now, normally I don't really go into pantries to showcase details, but this one has this really, really cool contraption.
It's pretty smart.
Good use of space.
Totally.
Very smart, so we had to point it out.
It looked like an old telephone booth. Like you just go, make your telephone call and come out.
French doors open up to the water feature that we talked about earlier. Again, you have your stone finishes, detailed millwork.
You don't want detailed millwork. You don't want these columns. You see what I'm saying? What are you? You don't have an identity. Architectural style is another principle of quality. How to identify what's a good architectural style, what's bad architectural style for your neighborhood, right? How to identify what's what, right? And then executing that architectural style both on the outside and interior. Very easy thing once you learn how to do it, but everyone gets it wrong on $50 million houses too.
We need to bring everybody to the side. So let's talk about this photo for a second because this is such a cool story. These bears were actually right outside in that water feature. This is a photo taken by the homeowner. And when we talk about Lake Tahoe and the natural life here, these bears were literally hanging out outside. And that's crazy. In fact, they have iPhone videos of these bears in the winter coming and playing here. That's why we have outside. I mean, it's wild.
It's really cool. And some people might think that's a little scary or off-putting, but I think it's cute. Like they don't want to hurt us. They just want to relax and like rinse off.
They don't, really. Let me tell my wife that. Babe, there are a couple bears outside. They're friendly. Don't worry about them. Oh my God. Are you kidding? Are you kidding?
And to me, it's such a cool experience. I mean, imagine being able to share that with your kids.
Let's just say he's not married. He doesn't have kids. He has no idea. He has no idea what's going on.
Now, before we check out the rest of this wing, we have to bring everybody to the formal dining room. A very elegant space.
Elegant is not this, okay? Elegant is not blue stone with cabinetry, molding cabinet, then a vintage piece over here, then molding around, and an old chandelier that is not even cabin or rustic. It's like neoclassical. Nothing goes. This is not elegant. This is what people do not understand what elegant is. They see one piece that they think, okay, this could be elegant, right? But in the right setting. You could say this is elegant in a grand palace in, a chateau in France. Yeah, I would say that. But not in a cabin in Lake Tahoe.
The entertainment lounge, or the parlor as they would like to call it, is a great entertainment space.
Beautiful. I like this. See, this frame looks nice. Really love the stones over here. Really, really like it. Like if I was renovating this property, if I was consulting for a property like this, I would say like that's your inspiration. You want to double down on that. You want to double down on the color of the wood frames of the windows. I thought that was beautiful. And get rid of all these ugly columns, right? Overall, this frame, very nice. It's what you would expect, what you would be pleasant to the eye, what would be the experience people are craving when they're going to Lake Tahoe. Cool.
They also have this really cool rustic barber chair here if you want to get a haircut.
I like this. So far, the best place in the property as far as interior design goes, okay? Love the fireplace. Love, 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 love that look. What I hate about it, like the worst part about it, is this finish on the ceiling. And then the over-the-top wood hammered. It looks very artificial, the way they've kind of chipped out the wood to make it look old and, genuine. As to just putting natural wood would have looked way better. And I think they introduced a darker color wood, which was unnecessary. They didn't have to do that. I think it would have looked much better with a natural color wood, a lighter palette. But overall, I think so far this parlor was the best executed interior design. If they had taken this and executed in the formal living space, or maybe that's the family room they call it, it would have even looked way better over there because it was so much more grand, so much more beautiful. So I will double down on this.
And continuing our tour, we have a long hallway that takes you to the guest wing.
Long hallways are never good things. It just tells me there's a major connectivity issue in the house.
To our right, we have the movie theater, but first, we got to check out this reading nook. I'm going to call this space a reading nook, but it can be an office or another small lounge.
Yeah, because there's no shelves. If it's a reading nook, you should made it a library. I mean, it does get a lot of natural light, but they didn't give it functionality. Why the hell would I come over here? The parlor looked way nicer than this.
Now, next up, we have the movie theater. As someone who was born and raised in Turkey and spent the last 17 years of his life in the United States, I have to say I'm always fascinated by American movies and American homes. In fact, even after doing over 400 episodes in the last 5 years, I'm still surprised by walking into movie theaters and seeing how the homeowners design these kind of spaces. And in this case, we have a really unique movie theater. 12-person seating that is extremely comfortable.
What the hell is this? It's so anti-log cabin. This is like, again, neoclassical movie theaters. You see, like this might have been a trend in the 70s, what everyone was doing their movie theaters in this style. When you follow these stupid trends and you go against the architectural style of the house, it would just be ridiculous like this. The molding, the walls, horrible, horrible, horrible movie theater. It's a gut renovation. So far, the house, there's some elements that you could keep like the fireplaces, but so far I would gut everything. Like everything has to go.
This section of this property has its own entry from the grounds, which is really nice. And coming this way, we have the seating area.
What a weird foyer when you walk in. What is this? Is this your living room? You walking into your living room and there's a fireplace in front of you? This is what happened. Architecturally, they designed the place, right, to have symmetry with something else in the property. I promise you, okay? And then they're like, okay, what do we do with it? Okay. All right. I guess we have to put some chairs over here, and the chairs will be right in front of the front door, and it's a foyer/hallway.
Now this section is super cozy. We have 4-bedroom suites that we're going to see in a second, but right off its entry, we have vaulted ceilings that are beamed, mood lighting, another fireplace with a beautiful mantel work.
See, they were doing their fireplaces good, But then they got bored. They're like, you know what? Let's try something else over here. The only thing you had going for you, you had these beautiful stone fireplaces. And you decided to change it to tile.
And over on this side, we have a really nice open kitchen. And I personally been really enjoying the table setup here. You sit right against this picture window. You enjoy the views. And you have a small kitchenette here with a Keurig, which helps.
Gut job.
I want to take everybody this way. Let's go see the 4 guest suites. Now, this side of the home is very much built for families. In fact, on this hallway, we have a washer and dryer.
Very narrow hallway. If you're a subscriber to the channel, you know this. This hallway is extremely narrow. Not ideal whatsoever.
And on this level, we have 2 guest suites. The first guest suite does not feature a fireplace, neither a balcony, because it was designed for kids. And the second guest suite is designed more for the parents.
Is that why you have super, super low ceilings too? Because the kids are shorter? Did you notice the ceiling just dropped? Like seriously dropped.
Now, over on the other side, you will see that the second guest suite is a little bit more spacious. Comes with a king-size bed now, a fireplace, and a good-sized balcony opening up to the outdoors. That way, parents can enjoy this side and the kids can enjoy the other guest suite. And this one is actually fish themed. That's why the woodwork, the fish here, and even the bedside tables are designed like fishing rods.
So cheesy. Look, you don't need to bring in decor elements to tell people in a cabin. If you're doing that, it's because you didn't do the fundamentals. You should be able to do it with the architectural style. You don't need the fish to say, hey, let's go fishing, you're in Lake Tahoe. It's horrible. There's nothing cabiny about this except the furniture and the doors. They put some beams on top, but you completely got out of touch with the stones you were using in the living areas. It just looks very, very blah. Very it could be anywhere. Really, it could be anywhere. You don't have any elements.
Another thing I want to point out, we've been actually staying in this property over the last 2 days. It's been a lot of fun. Guest Week is the area that we're staying in, and waking up in this property, seeing the sunrise, seeing the sundown, seeing how the lake changes and moves over the span of a day has been very rewarding. I mean, it's a really cozy home, and I can't still believe that at night I go to the office to work and come into one of these bedrooms and stay in.
It's been really awesome, especially the sunrises. Having every bedroom look out over the lake, you're just woken up by the colors in the sky and how the light comes over the mountain and just fills the entire home with light.
Okay, so it's an east-facing property, right? You're facing the Nevada side. You're going to be completely lit in the morning, but very dark in the evening. Why? Because you're against the mountain. And you're actually below the mountain. You got to take a driveway down, right? So in the evenings, you're not going to get any natural light coming into the property.
And this is actually not the last bedroom that we'll be seeing. The next one we're going to see is quite special. Now, this wing of the home not only features the primary bedroom suite, it also features an amazing office that's to my left.
Wait a minute. So your primary suite is all the way on this side of the property, and then you have 4 bedrooms, guest suites completely on the other side of the property, and you don't have any other bedrooms. That's not ideal whatsoever. That completely affects your rentability and also for primary residence if somebody wants to stay here. Because a lot of people have younger kids. If you don't have at least 1 bedroom or 2 bedrooms close to your primary suite, you're alienating a huge demographic who would not be okay waking up in the middle of the night to take care of the kids if they wake up. Bad choice. Very, very bad choice.
Now, on the other side, we have the double doors opening up to this exquisite office. Brazilian mahogany millwork throughout your desk, the leather chairs, fireplace, the weight of the room.
Okay, the weight of the room is good. The mahogany is good. The execution of this office is really good. But why did you change the theme? Do you see what I'm saying? Like if the theme of the property, you set the tone with this kind of cathedral cabin, wood beams, cedar columns, and flagstone fireplaces. Why do you have to go all mahogany and heavy molding like any other office in America when you're in Lake Tahoe? Why wouldn't you tell a different story? Why wouldn't you stay consistent with the architectural style. You don't need to change it. Like if you're bored of your own style, then you should question why you chose that style. Okay, and you just don't know how to execute that style fully in different floors, in different rooms that have different functionality. There is a way to do an office in that style. There is a way to do a kitchen in the same style. You don't have to switch style because you don't know how to execute the architectural style.
Follow me this way because we gotta check out the primary bedroom, which is spacious, massive on footprint, and these double doors open up to the bathroom or the center section of the primary bedroom. But first, I want to take everybody to the bedroom itself. When you walk in, you're just in awe with the ceiling height, these beams.
Jesus Christ, it looks like a cathedral. You brought in the Jerusalem stone over here with some tapestry. What happened? Like, it's not a joke. You have no respect for the architectural style that you committed to or initially. You just think it's like, oh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this room in mid-century. Why don't you do the other room in, Cape Cod? It doesn't go. Like, stay consistent.
There is some Gothic and medieval energy to this home with some of the details. Wall sconces and all that, and I just feel like it's part of the charm, part of the character. I mean, we're in the mountains, and look at this frame here. The property is so private that they don't even have any window coverings.
Well, the sun is going to wake you up because this is east facing. The sun's going to come out 6:30 and it's going to wake your butt up.
Oh my God.
Now we're going to see the bathroom. It has the center section that is super open, and you have your floor to halfway mirror wall, so you can kind of see yourself get ready for your day.
How big are you? This is massive. You could see the whole family in here. Taking it like a family portrait here. How about a smaller mirror?
Over on this side, we have a very spacious walk-in shower. Now, it is all stone clad all the way to the ceiling. And then over on this side, we have the first walk-in closet that is quite spacious. We have the two vanities to our left. Again, granite countertops, fixtures, picture frame. And Cody, can we get a close-up? You got to point out some fun details. It's TV.
The little TV.
That's right.
That's such a crackhead move. You're so addicted to TV that you just hide it, like, so your wife doesn't find it. You're like, oh, okay, I got my fix. Yes.
Let's move on to the built-in tub. It's jetted. It frames that same view that we just saw. Fireplace on the other side, your second vanity, toilet to my right, and then we have the second closet here, and that's pretty much it for the primary bedroom suite.
Oh my God, how did I miss all this? There's a bunch of stuff that I missed. Did you guys notice? I hope you caught it. If you're a subscriber, you should have caught this. I'm editing this video and I'm embarrassed for myself. First of all, you enter through the bathroom and then the room is like a walk-in closet within the bathroom. Okay, so you first enter the bathroom and then like this bedroom is kind of like a subsidiary of the walk-in closet. And then the bathroom feels like a walk-in closet. And then there's this toilet that is just like in the middle of the bathroom in front of the real walk-in closet. It's horrible. It's disgusting. It's like the worst design, setup, arrangement of toilet, sinks, bedroom. Like, it's all confusing.
But of course, we still have lots to see. The arrival experience to the lower level is super cool. It feels like you're walking into a cave. I really like these granite walls mimicking the landscape outside. Then you have your stone steps, and let's not forget the willow branch railing design that comes up from the main level, your water feature, and then to my right, we have the wine cellar. This space can hold 1,687 bottles.
Okay, at least you don't have it like by the window. And there's just enough room where you could maybe taste some of the wine, which is good. Not bad. Again, not like anything close to Jimmy Butler's wine cellar, but at least they didn't screw it up like as far as functionality goes.
Now, jumping back to the landing, we have two additional hallways here. To my right, we have a door that opens up to a full bathroom. And we have a full bathroom here because if you follow the staircase here and go outside, there's an amazing jacuzzi that we're gonna see later. And then on the other side, we have the door that opens up to the second funicular.
Perfect. Mind the gap, please. Piccadilly line.
Please mind the gap between the train and the platform.
That takes you down all the way to the beach house. But before we get there, I want to take everybody this way so we can check out the game room. This is a really nice, cozy, intimate space.
This was the lamest game room I've ever seen. Are you serious? Don't call this a game room. When you say game room, there's a level of expectations. And they just put a freaking one of those old things out there that you roll, probably doesn't even work, and you call it a game room. This is not a game room. This is a weird shape room at the bottom of the house with very low ceilings that you didn't know what to do with. So you went to Harris on the Nevada side. They had an old arcade and they were selling their old arcade equipment. You bought that for like 1/10 of the price. You bought it here, put it in, and you call it a game room. Don't do this to your kids. Okay.
Hardwood floors throughout, but I really like how they install these hardwood floors. They're white plank, and where they have the screws, they have these small fillers that are square, so you get that additional character.
Why didn't you do that for the top floor? Like, that would have been cool. You didn't do that upstairs, did you? You decided to put granite, flagstone, and carpet next to each other. That would have been a good floor choice for upstairs.
And if you go this way, we have a table setup, ski bowl, and of course, amazing views throughout. Now, if I were to utilize the space, I would turn it into an office. I would position my desk here, have a conference table on the other side.
I would actually continue with the whole game theme, but I would do something cool. Like maybe these like old arcade games where you had a gun and things moved and you had to shoot at the like dot. Something cool like that. Like that actually goes with the theme of a cabin, not a office. You had a really cool office upstairs. You didn't need another office down here.
And with that, we're done with the lower level. Now, let's go outside. It was important for the homeowners to design the outdoor spaces, walkways, and staircases in a way that blends with the landscape as much as possible. And I think this staircase is a testament to that.
It looks so fake. It looks totally like they tried to make it look like stone.
Welcome to the funicular, everyone. What a cool experience. You can just simply roll down to your beach house. It's comfortable. I want to say you can probably have 5 to 6 people in this funicular pretty comfortably. And beyond that, the tracks are heated, so you can use it year round. And you get a different perspective of the lake. It's super cool. And beyond that, given this property's scale, you will never be able to recreate this ever again.
Thank God. Thank God. This should be illegal. If your house needs a funicular, you shouldn't be able to build a house there.
Almost at the beach house. Let's go check it out. So the beach house has a really unique story.
Don't call it a beach house. It doesn't have a beach. It's rocks and it's a cliff house. Call it a cliff house. You need to have sand. You need to be able to lounge on the beach. There's no beach here.
It took the homeowners 10 plus years to get their permits and plans approved to build the structure. And after that, they spent 2.5 years constructing it.
You know what that tells you? The city was like, this is a bad idea. This is not... You should not be able to do this. And I bet you they pulled some like accessory dwelling unit crap on this, right? Like we need to fix the housing issue. So we need to build another house with its own address so they can qualify it, so they can say it has a beach house, so they can say it actually has beach access, right? When to me it's like trying to, eat the food, spoon around your head and feeding yourself this way. If you want a beach house, go get a beach house. You don't need 2 funiculars to get to the beach.
First up, we have the seating area. You have your cozy leather couches and chairs, the solid wood coffee table, the light fixture above, vaulted ceilings, and of course, the same stacked stone was also used here for this cozy fireplace. And above that is this really unique mantle design.
Okay. Again, the fireplace is the nicest things about this property. But again, heavily molded cabinetry like this just takes everything out of this. You had to have extremely simple, maybe even exposed, with no doors, cabinetry, the way they had it on a parlor. That's the vibe and energy should go. Like, what are you trying to store here? by the fireplace. So yeah, it looks like fresh. It looks fresher than upstairs for sure.
We have the bifold doors here opening up to an extremely spacious patio.
See, this was done recently and everyone knows this right now. If you want to bring that indoor-outdoor flow, you use the same material on the inside and the outside, so you don't see that change of material, right? But they didn't do that. You can completely tell it's two different material. You could have allocated a same type of material that works both on the inside and the outside and is weather resistant, so you would have had that continuity, right? You would have invited the outside inside, and you would have had that indoor-outdoor flow.
Today is a very calm day, so we're not really hearing the waves, but it's so quiet down here. So peaceful. And what a way to entertain, and what a way to capitalize on this amazing property. Just open up the doors, have your friends and family, fill up the space, have barbecue back there.
Is that it? 50 million? Is that your barbecue area? Dude, people have the same setup on a $200,000 condo. Come on.
Let's take everybody back inside, and right in the center of the main floor, we got this gorgeous bar. The first thing that stands out to me,
that we have two bars facing out. There's one, the kitchen counter bar, and then there's a bar. Doesn't that look ridiculous to you guys? Nobody could see this on the floor plan and say, this kind of looks weird. Why are we doing this? You know what happened? They had a kitchen over here and this place in the middle looked empty. They're like, what are we going to do with it? Let's make it a bar. And then they just didn't think how stupid it would look. But it really goes on a bigger problem with this property. You see, this property was never going to be $50 million, and I will promise you would not sell for anything close to $50 million, and it would stay on the market for a very, very, very long time. Okay, you know why? Because they tried to make something out of nothing, and they miserably failed. And this is exactly why I do consulting. I can foresee these things 3 years before you come to the conclusion yourself, and you've spent 10 years getting permits and 2 years of construction and millions and millions and millions of dollars, and a national embarrassment afterwards, me critiquing the property, is that I can see this on a floor plan. I can look at a floor plan and tell you exactly what's going to happen in 4 or 5 years if you continue the way you're going. And that's why they pay me big bucks, because I can save you millions and millions and headaches and hassles and in some cases bankruptcies. You think you're doing your own remodel and you think you know what you're doing. There are professionals who do this and go bankrupt. I've covered them on my channel. There's plenty of developers. Their full-time job is doing this and they go bankrupt, and you think you can do it on your first try. It's like, I'm not a contractor. I'm not an architect. But what I am is I've spent 10,000 hours analyzing thousands of architectural designs, layouts, the 10 principles of quality I keep talking about, critiquing, analyzing properties. So I can foresee if you go in this direction where you're going to end up, because I've seen 20, 50 of exact same situations before. And that's why people consult with me. That's why some of the biggest names in the tech world consult with me, because they know I can give them a shortcut, save them millions of dollars, headache, and embarrassment. Like, can you imagine doing a project like this and then people come to your house and the way they look at you, they're like, that was a big waste of money. It's like embarrassing.
And then over on this side, we have the spacious kitchen. This beach house is designed in a way to be utilized more as a guest home and really an entertainment space. But this is a proper kitchen. Between the cabinetry, custom details, these handles, the core stainless steel appliances, and the countertops here, it has it all.
Like, this is a French hood. You see that in a French chateau or somewhere, like that type of a hood above the stove. What is it doing in Lake Tahoe? And it had nothing to do with the fireplace. See, they even after the renovation, they don't know what to do with it. And these people are wealthy. You think like rich people know what to do. And you think like your designer cares or contractor cares. They don't give a crap. They get paid whatever you do. Actually, the more mistakes you make, the change orders, they get paid more.
Now, this is the closest interior level to the lake, and that's why the 2 guest suites that we're gonna tour are very, very special. This room features 2 full-size beds, a lot of pillows,
and really low ceilings. Now, I've had it with this property. I'm going to tell you guys what I like about it and what I don't like about it. Here are the things I liked. I like the fact that the views are fantastic from almost every room in this property. Really, really beautiful. In a lot of cases, 10 out of 10. What I also liked was the parlor room, but more like I only like the stone around the fireplaces in this property. And I disliked everything else. I mean, I disliked the architectural style. I disliked the approach. I hated the funiculars. I hated the lot topography, lot quality. I don't even like the bears. I don't like any of that stuff, okay? And I cannot consciously advise you to buy this property unless you're buying it at an auction, at a foreclosure or something like that. Now, if you want to see me critique Dr. Mike's property, click here. And if you want to join the 5-day challenge, I'll promise you to teach you everything I know about how to critique a property, how to understand what's wrong with it, and then how to apply that in buying it or remodeling or building one new. Thanks for watching. The link is in the description, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.